Welcome to Public Forum, a community outreach program produced at North Idaho College on the shores of Lake Coeur d'Alene. Featuring guests from around the globe addressing a wide variety of subjects, Public Forum serves to educate and enlighten. Please join host and moderator, political scientist Tony Stewart, in welcoming today's guest.
We're most pleased to welcome you back to our second week. It's a two-week series on the use of massage for promoting good health. And our guest is highly qualified. She has a school where she's certified by the state of Washington. In fact, her massage school is the only one in the western United States that also has the clinical massage component of medical. In fact, our guest, Jeannie Plastino Wood, is the Director of Education and the owner of the American Institute of Clinical Massage. I've known Jeannie for years, and she is so highly qualified to deal with this subject. And thank you for giving us so much time and being generous to come back again this week. We enjoyed last week. It was so informative, and I think our viewers learned a lot about how this is such a healthy process if done from a very professional way, as your school does, or as your employees do. So, Jeannie, welcome back. We're pleased to have you here.
Thank you so much, Tony.
Always pleased to have regular panelist Erna Reinhardt, who's Director of Public Relations at North Idaho College, and she shall commence today's questioning.
Jeannie, welcome back for the second week.
You.
In case our viewers missed last week's show, let's start this week by giving us a broad overview of what massage does to our bodies to make us feel so much better. What is it that happens physiologically in our bodies to make us feel better?
We know these things as a fact. We know that it lowers our blood pressure. We know that it releases endorphins, or the good feeling chemistry that we have. We know that it lowers cortisol, or the stress hormone, in our blood. That seems to be piling on right now for everyone in our society. We know that it breaks up scar tissue and increases circulation, both vascularly with the blood, but also lymphatically, which is our immunities and our sewer system.
So it gets things in our bodies moving. How, if you had your choice, how often would you recommend that someone have a massage? I mean, I know that money is probably a factor, but if you wanted to just enjoy the benefits of massage, how often should you do that?
I think weekly. I try to do it weekly, but monthly, absolutely, if you can come in once a month.
Excellent.
We have talked before, Jeannie, for this program on our changing lifestyles in America. And I guess the best way to describe it is hurry up and wait, but also never rest. It's just a fast-paced life. Also in conversations with individuals and from families and all, we take less time for our families, even eating together, or unlike the Italians, we don't, they're so good at expressing themselves as an example, as a culture. And there's obviously, we know, proper touching and improper touching. But there's less, from what, in my conversation with you and others, that families are a little bit more distanced from one another, a lot of them, than they used to be. And you talked last week about widows and widowers that lost their mate, and no one ever gives them a hug, or someone is coming along and patting you on the shoulder and saying a nice thing to you is very rewarding as a human being. So would you share, because of this change in our lifestyles, why massages are even more important?
If we don't stop and relax a little bit and rest, it's during that time that our tissues repair. It's almost as if we hit a reset button. We will break down. We have to. It's not a luxury. It's a matter of our health as much as anything else, to take that time to relax. If it's not a massage, there's other things to do. Walking, you see people walking, that's a way to relax. Stretching, yoga does the same, initially the same type of movement that massage does, by getting those muscles to stretch and relax, pumping fluid through them. There's many ways, but do it. Take some time for yourself to relax.
I want to spend a little time on, I have to make sure the viewers understand how professional your place is in your school, and you've worked closely with physical therapists, medical doctors, all kinds of other professions. But in my conversation with you recently, you've also been concerned about children, and children facing more tension than they used to. And, unfortunately, children see on television daily violence all over the world, and it has to impact them. So would you share with our viewers, parents in particular, and I know that when parents come to your institute and oftentimes bring children with them, and you have a really good rule that if you're going to be dealing with children, there's a parent present with the child. But share with us why children need also attention in the kind of work you're doing.
We've just spoken about the effects of our lifestyle on adults, but that's on human beings. The same effect of stress is happening to children nowadays. It used to be that there were a few diseases that were for the elderly, or at least the older. Heart disease, hypertension, anxiety disorders, stress-related disorders, obesity, as far as diabetes, that sort of thing, seem to be diseases that you got later in life. Unfortunately now, statistics show that children have the same disease rate as adults. They suffer the same anxiety disorders, the same stress-related disorders as adults do. They're even prohibited from doing many of the things that would relieve that stress that they have the time to do, but are not allowed. Sports activities have been taken out of a lot of programs because of cost. Resting, we used to take a nap. We talked about that. Nobody rests either in school. The pressure from succeeding the tests, things like that they have, all of this piles up on children. They have no outlet. And if I was to do one thing, just one thing, more than the school, more than anything else, before I leave this earth, it would be to get massage into the school system. It's been proven that lowering those cortisol stress hormone levels reduces the outbursts of aggressive behavior in adolescence. These have been tried in schools, and kids get stressed out. And so I would really like to see that in there.
Tell us a little about, at your institute, there are a number of parents that do bring their children to your institute.
There are.
Yeah, share that with us.
Knowing this, a lot of them are school teachers, and they realize they come in at the beginning of the year, midterms, finals. They come in and they started realizing we're going to bring our kids in with us. So everything is on the up and up. Everybody doesn't have any worries, and we put the parent and the child in the same room. We have several rooms that are set up for couples, so couples being parent-child.
And you see the same kind of results from reducing tension, whether it's an adult or a child.
I do. It's one of the things, it just warms my heart more than anything else. I love to see people benefit from massage, but there's something special in there when you see a child, they lean into you, or they do at the end of the school year. When I say lean into you, it's like, yes, that feels so good on my back. Their backpacks weigh on an average of 65 pounds.
That's kind of dangerous for a small child.
These kids, they drag them. It's amazing. Their sports, athletic programs, different things that they go through where they could be benefiting from this. But every year at the end of the school year, the children at the schools around here, elementary age, have carnivals. And they can say which businesses they want to come into their carnival. So they have ice cream, they have hamburgers, they have karate lessons, they have the police force there. They always call the school and say, can we have massage? These carnivals are run that the students go to a spot, spend 15 minutes, a bell goes off, and they have to move location. We can't get our students to move. We can't get the students to move from our students. They stay, and they'll give up the ice cream, they'll give up, but they do not want to miss their massage. And it's just really, proven to me how much that's needed and wanted with kids.
Thank you, Erna.
That just begs the question. Jeannie, have you thought of ever offering a class for parents and children? Because that just seems like that would be such a natural, no?
It is offered for pregnancy infant.
Mm-hmm.
I have a couple of teenagers, and it is true, during that stage, they may not want to be touched by mom or dad in a nice way, and mom and dad just sometimes aren't in the mood to deal with them in that way either. We don't have any classes. There hasn't been an interest in it, but there has been an interest with the government. There has been an interest with some school teachers when they notice that if they just hug by just putting a hand on a shoulder, which they're not really supposed to do anymore, but just touching a child seems to lower that anxiety that's in them. The schools at this point prohibit touch within them for reasons that are not grounded and not founded anywhere. It's proven that 1% of child abuse, as in sexual molestation, occurs in a school system, 1%. The rest of it is outside, mostly with known family members or friends.
Excellent. We talked a little bit about how stressful our lives are today, and I think that's true for all of us, whether we're stay-at-home moms or whether we're employees. We often don't take that time to either go for a quick walk or just get away from the computer and the desk for a while. Are there some things that you can either do at your desk to alleviate the stress, maybe take a 5 or 10 minute break that you could share with us? Or if we're in a home setting where we could just go into a room, close the door, and maybe do some kind of deep breathing. Is there any of those kinds of things that you could share with us that could maybe benefit our viewers?
It seems as though every sense that we have is for our benefit and for our healing. Quick to do is to stretch. That's the number one thing. If you always have your arms in front of you, put your arms in back of you. And just do not long stretches, 2 seconds to 5 second stretches, pumps blood into that area. Aromatherapy. Aromatherapy is huge and absolutely effective. Get some lavender. Do a little research on that and find the scents that will calm the nervous system. And take a cotton ball, and carry it with you and smell that. Sound. Sound is something that in the spa we only play a certain kind of music, because when a client is listening to the rhythm, they will pace their breathing to the sound. So if you're very wound up, start smelling and listening and stretching, and that should bring you out of it.
Those are great tips. Thank you.
As always on this program, our staff has been excellent at giving visuals to our viewers. Our photographers go out, or our video camera people, and we are going to this time ask our staff to put up a series of photographs that our staff took, and we're going to let you, it's from your institute, it's from your center, and so our viewers can see some of the areas. We didn't cover everything on this, but here's the first photo. This is your establishment. And let's have you describe them.
This used to be the clubhouse up in the Highlands Golf Course, and it was a restaurant, Carnegie's Restaurant, and then it was vacated and used for other types of businesses, and we found out about it and went in, and with the exception of the bistro area, everything else was taken out and remodeled.
Yes, and now we have some photographs inside here. But this is the entrance to your building?
That is the first reception area there. And there's a few shelves in there with some retail products. We have done quite a bit of research on the products that we sell in there, that they are the purest of essential oils we can find, the purest products for the skin, and we sell them. What we use on the body you can purchase.
And is this a waiting area?
That's our waiting area, and it doesn't show this in here. There's another side, just the small leather chairs that are relaxing. There's bookshelves in there where you can read, and it has canes up on the wall. We decorated with canes, and those were from clients who were using a cane, and then fortunately massage helped them, and we took hold of their canes and put them on the wall.
That's a success story. And our next one?
That's our hair salon. This is a day spa, so there are other entities in the building besides the massage school and the massage therapist. And this is a full-service hair salon where it's a day spa, meaning you can spend the day there. And so they do all the colors, all the cuts, all the waxing, tinting.
So you can have your hairstyle, you can have your fingers, nails done, you can have massage. And this room is?
That is our side-by-side petty spas that's on the view side of the building. And we do pedicures in there, but also what's more popular is just foot massage. It seems to be a favorite of men. They like to have their neck and back worked on, and they like to have their feet worked on. So those chairs do a neck and back massage and heat up, as well as getting a foot massage. And it's very beneficial for diabetics with any kind of peripheral neuropathy where they've lost feelings in their feet. And we soak their feet in peppermint oil and then massage their feet.
And then this is our next scene.
That's the best room in Kootenai County, right there. That is our jetted tub. We use this primarily with our baths that we bring in from Germany that are a medicinal grade for relaxing muscles and de-stressing, and they soak in that tub.
And the last one.
In the background there is a side-by-side tables, once again for two-person massage, parent-child couples, and then a waiting area in the front part of the picture there where they can sit, and it's a room to itself.
I wanted our viewers to see some of these wonderful visuals, and that was just some samples. It's a big facility. And, just a personal note, when I saw the jetted tub, I have one of those myself at home, the home that I bought, and you get in there and you've had a tense day. If you're not careful, you go to sleep there, and a good sleep, because it is relaxing, and the movement of the water really does help with the body. And I want to pause at this point to say that for those who are interested in what we're talking about concerning massages, we're going to put up on the screen again two things. One is your telephone number, and another one is your website. And let's do your website first, please. And I'll have you to call it out also.
It is info@aicmtouch.com.
And so on that website would be a lot about your school and your work and what
that
you do.
website has it has a link also to the Highlands Day Spa, but on that site you can get all the information about our program, class descriptions, and descriptions of the effects of massage, the different mud wraps, herbal scrubs, what people have questions about.
I failed to mention, in addition to being able to come there for massage and have these diagnoses of what might be best for you as an individual, you also, it's the same place where students would apply if they want to go to your school.
Correct.
And become a licensed practitioner. And again, you are registered or licensed through the state of Washington. But before I go further, here's the telephone number, and it's 208-773-0773, so you can also by phone get some information. Let's talk a little more about your students and how long they're in your school, and then something about once they graduate, where all do they go to work? You have a rather large class, I believe.
It's actually low right now. We have 65 students. We were up to 130 a few months ago. The students, they not only come to school to work in a healthcare setting, but they primarily want to work on their own independently. The whole time that they're in our student clinic doing massages on the public, they're required to do 250 massages before they graduate. That's exposure to potential clients for them. And when you go to a massage therapist and they know the knots in your back or your neck, and they know exactly how to work them. You stick with that therapist. So now they have a client, and when they graduate, we lose a certain amount of our clientele that's come to the spa, and then we have new students coming in. And so the employment possibilities are endless. If they don't go to work for another healthcare professional and they want to be independent, they either pick a disease condition. Let's say they want to work with MS patients, something like that, cancer patients. If they don't want a disease, they pick a group of people. They work with athletes, they work with children, they work with seniors, or they might just want to pick a part of the body, do rehab on shoulder girdle type work or rotator cuff surgeries, that kind of thing. So it's pretty endless right now where they can go.
Also, do some of your graduates, corporations are very different than they used to be. A lot of them have rec centers and a lot of things at the workplace and child care. It's almost a little town itself, and some of the wise corporations that. Do any of the corporations hire any of these individuals to do on-site massages for their employees?
That's a whole business to itself. There are several corporations that have found out the productivity of their employees is much more if they offer that. There's several large corporations that have put in rec centers, relaxation centers within their corporation.
Also, this program will be airing in early 2005, although we did the program in latter part 2004. And a lot of our viewers are in Idaho, in southern Idaho. And you're opening up a school and a clinic in Boise, Idaho. Can you at this time tell us where that will be located?
It will be in the Lake Harbor Plaza on State Street. And it is in Boise. We are so excited to finally get down there because in the state of Idaho, there are 0 requirements for massage therapy. In fact, we're still under adult entertainment. We are not in the healthcare profession. We're not considered a profession. Every time we have tried to put that on the ballot, we've been voted down by the majority of the population in the southern part of the state because there are no requirements down there, but most of the therapists up here in the Panhandle are Washington certified. So we see the need for that and for public safety on having a licensing process. So we decided to come in the back door and go down there, start a school, and put out some good therapists who will test in Washington and Oregon. We're an Oregon school as well. And do it that way.
They certify Oregon also, do they?
So, Oregon now has raised its standard to a licensing, so it is an actual license in the healthcare department.
The other thing that we're proud about the work you do is, I believe I'm correct, in the western United States, you're the only certified school that deals with medical clinical. Will you explain that for us?
It's the highest designation you can get now in the manual therapies, they call it, where you go and learn how to do work specific to injury-related cases. And it's just a technique, but it's a whole different certification. You have to have at least 750 hours behind you, at least 200 of those in anatomy specific, and then another 200 hours in muscle specific to even take that class. And our students are able to do that.
And that's certified by a national organization?
It's certified by the AMMA, the American Medical Massage Association.
Thank you, Erna Reinhardt.
Jeannie, I'm glad that you explained the certification part because I was going to ask about that. But if we had a viewer that was possibly interested in going to get a massage, but they didn't already have a massage therapist, are there some good questions that you might recommend in terms of what they should ask when they want to go find a therapist? How do you find a good therapist?
You want to make sure that they have a national certificate or a Washington State license. That will assure them that they have at least 500 hours behind them and that they're required to carry insurance and malpractice insurance.
So each state has different certification qualifications. Is that how it is?
Right, or none.
Okay,
such
and Idaho
as our
has
state.
none.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you explained a little bit to Tony about the school. How long typically would it take a student to get through the program, and approximately how much would that cost?
beginning to end, the whole program is 15 months, and it's $6,925 for that program. The first part, which is 150 hours that we spoke about a little bit on the earlier show, that one is $625, and it takes 3 months to do.
Great. So. I love the question I asked last time, so I want to ask this again. But if someone's nervous about going to a massage, because I've been to your school and your students are so professional, I wouldn't want anybody to miss that opportunity to have that wonderful benefit of massage. What would you tell someone that is maybe scared or nervous or afraid to have a massage? What would you tell them?
That if they go into a facility that requires that they're uncomfortable, that's not a massage clinic. That's something that the owner or the operators like to indulge in. It's mandatory that they are comfortable, that they feel secure. They are absolutely in control of whatever goes on in that room. If they don't want their feet worked on, we don't touch their feet. And so they're in control. They're supposed to be comfortable. At our school, being a Washington State school, our draping requirements are very, very strict. And if we're working on their arm is the only thing that should be exposed. So, and it'll be covered up. And so they're always under a sheet and a blanket. Excellent. And so they should feel comfortable about that. And do be wary, because there are many cases of people being hurt and taken advantage of out here, especially in Idaho, because there's not a licensure requirement.
Excellent.
So.
And also at your center, when you enter, your selection of music is very, very excellent. And you said last week that music is a very soothing part of this whole process. And when I visited to get ready for this show, when I walked in, it was instant relaxation. Your atmosphere is very, very strong, and you are very professional, and you would not operate without a license, and we commend you for that. Even though it's not required in Idaho, you insist on doing so. Jeannie, good luck to you and your work and your students. And I believe you have about 35 paid staff, too, in addition to your students.
Yeah.
You've been very successful, and we congratulate you. And thank you for taking this time to be with us for 2 weeks. We appreciate it very much.
Thank you so much, Tony. Irma, thank you.
It was our pleasure. Ladies and gentlemen, next week we will move to yet another issue on another subject, and then we will be back with you. Until then, please have a good week. I am Tony Stewart.
Recorded on the campus of North Idaho College, Public Forum is the longest-running in-house college production on PBS. Each episode is pre-recorded live and is an educational outreach from North Idaho College. Please join us at this same time next week for another edition of Public Forum on this public television station.